At the age of 39, petty criminal Colin Ireland was directionless and wanted to do something with his life. So he decided to become a serial killer and read up on the subject. Known in the press as the Gay Slayer, he picked as his victims gay men who enjoyed the passive role in sadomasochistic sex, as they would volunteer to be tied up before he murdered them. Ireland claimed not to be gay himself. He had been married twice and had not engaged in sex with his victims, but he said he had pretended to be gay to pick them up. From his reading, he knew about geographic profiling, the theory that a serial killer is likely to kill close to work or home. He lived in Southend-on-Sea in Essex, England, so he chose London as his killing ground. His stalking ground would be the Coleherne, a gay pub in the Earl's Court area. He would accompany the victims to their home and kill them there. In a rucksack he would carry a murder kit, some cord, a knife, a pair of gloves, shoes, and a change of clothes. After the murder, he would meticulously tidy up and clean the scene of the crime to ensure that he left no clues. To avoid suspicion, he would not leave the victim's flat late at night. Rather, he would wait until the morning when he would mingle with people going to work. Taking the train home, he would throw the clothes, shoes, and gloves he had worn when he committed the murder out of the window, so they landed on some remote stretch of railway property where they were unlikely to be found. On the other hand, he was not shy about publicity. On the 9th of March, 1993, he called the newsroom of the Sun newspaper in London. "I've murdered a man," he told the journalist who answered. "I'm calling you because I'm worried about his dogs. I want them to be let out. It would be cruel for them to be stuck there." It seems he was not at all concerned about his victim, and gave an address in Battersea where the body and the dogs could be found. "I tied him up and I killed him and I cleaned up the flat afterwards," he said. "I did it. It was my New Year resolution to kill a human being. Is that of any interest to you? He was a homosexual and into kinky sex." The newspaper alerted the police, who went to the address he had given. Forcing open the door, they found 45-year-old theater director Peter Walker naked and spread-eagled on his four-poster bed, with his wrists and ankles tied to each corner. There was a plastic bag over his head. As he could not have done this with his hands tied, someone else must have been with him. But was it murder or an erotic game gone badly wrong? There were other odd clues, though. 2 teddy bears had been left in a soixante neuf position, and a condom had been shoved in his mouth, another up a nostril. Ireland had done this because while searching the flat, he said, he discovered that Walker was HIV positive. On the 30th of May, 1993, the body of 37-year-old librarian Christopher Dunn was found tied, handcuffed, and gagged at his home in Wealdstone, northwest London. He was naked except for a leather bondage harness, and he had a plastic bag over his head. His testicles appeared to have been scorched. Later, it was discovered that £200 had been taken from his bank account. Ireland had tortured him to reveal the PIN number of his debit card. As Ireland was unemployed, he felt he needed money to pay for his train travel, new clothes and shoes, and other expenses. Again, the police wondered whether his death was the result of a sex game, and as Wealdstone was on the other side of London from Battersea, they did not connect the case to that of Peter Walker. Ireland was free to kill again. On the 4th of June, 35-year-old American executive Perry Bradley III was found at his home in Kensington, bound, gagged, and strangled. £100 was missing from his wallet, and £200 had been taken from his bank account. Apparently Bradley Snow was not into S&M, but Ireland had persuaded him to let him tie him up, saying that it was necessary for his arousal. 3 days later, 33-year-old housing warden Andrew Collier was found dead, tied to his bed in Dalston, northeast London. He had been strangled. Various parts of his body had been burnt, but he refused to give up his pin. Frustrated, Ireland strangled his cat in front of him before killing him. Ireland had to make do with £70 in cash he found in the flat. Again, during the search, he found that Collier was HIV positive. He put a condom on Collier's penis and put it in the cat's mouth, then put a condom on the cat's tail and put that in Collier's mouth. Feeling that he was not getting the publicity he deserved, Ireland taunted the police with a series of telephone calls. Before Collier's body was discovered, he told the police that he had read the FBI crime classification manual before he decided to become a serial killer. "I know what it takes to become one. You have to kill 1 over 4 to qualify, don't you? I have already killed 3, he said. According to the FBI, 3 qualifies. It started as an exercise. I wanted to see if it could be done, to see if I could really get away with it. Have you found Christopher Dunn yet? I killed him too. I haven't seen anything in the papers." A few days later, the caller explained why he had killed Collier's cat. "I don't want anybody to get any wrong ideas about me. I am not an animal lover," he said. Confessing to the murder of Perry Bradley, he said, "I did the American. You've got some good leads on my identity from clues at the scene." In another anonymous call, Ireland said, "Are you still interested in the death of Peter Walker? Why have you stopped the investigation? Doesn't the death of a homosexual man mean anything? I will do another. I have always dreamed of doing the perfect murder." Police inquiries soon established that at least 3 of the victims were regulars at the Coleherne, which was close to Bradley's flat. Then, on the night of the 12th of June, 43-year-old Maltese-born chef Emanuele Spiteri disappeared from the Coleherne. 3 days later, police received another phone call. "Have you found the body in southeast London yet? And the fire," the caller said. Forcing the door of Spiteri's apartment in Catford, the police found him naked and bound. He had been strangled. An attempt had been made to set fire to a pile of furniture, but the flames had died out before the whole building went up. Smile, you're on CCTV. To get from the Coleherne to Catford, Spiteri would have taken the underground to Charing Cross, where he would have caught an overground train to Catford. Reviewing the British Rail security footage, the police spotted Spiteri on the CCTV tapes several times. With him was a tall, heavily built man. His picture was circulated widely, but no one came forward to say they knew the man. But Ireland, of course, recognized him. On the 21st of July, he walked into a solicitor's office in Southend and said he needed legal representation. Ireland and the lawyer traveled up to London and went to the police together. Ireland admitted he had been with Spiteri, but insisted he had left when another man arrived. But Ireland had made a fatal mistake. During his sojourn at Collier's home, there had been an altercation in the street outside. Looking out of the window, Ireland had touched the frame, leaving a fingerprint that he had overlooked when cleaning up. Confronting Ireland with this evidence, they expected a full confession. However, Ireland remained obstinately silent. After 2 days' intensive questions, Ireland still admitted nothing and was remanded in prison. He will still be hearing the questions you ask him, said criminal psychologist Paul Britton. He has to set the record straight. That's when he'll confess. After 3 weeks on remand, Ireland asked to speak to the police, but not those bastards who interviewed me. They really got under my skin. He then admitted all 5 murders, giving a detailed statement over the next 2 days. In it, he said he had not been under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time of the murders. He was not gay or bisexual, even though he had once worked as a bouncer at a gay club in Soho. He had not undressed or engaged in any sexual activity with his victims, and had gained no sexual thrill from the murders, and he held no grudge against the gay community. He had chosen gay men as his victims simply because they were easy targets. But there was more to it. He claimed it was extreme male deviancy that triggered his anger, as he had been approached by pedophiles as a child. He said his victims were deviants being into S&M sex who just happened to be gay. He claimed he was ridding society of vermin and considered himself a superior person. Psychologists saw the strategic placing of items related to childhood on the victim's body, the teddy bears, the doll, and the cat, as symbolic of Ireland's abhorrence at the loss of innocence. He himself was the victim of a disruptive childhood. He never knew his father and had been in and out of foster homes and borstals. On the 20th of December 1993, at London's Old Bailey, Ireland was given 5 life sentences with a whole life tariff. It was reported that he killed again in jail, strangling a convicted child killer in his cell while in Wakefield Prison, Yorkshire. As there was no possibility that he would ever be released, there was no point in charging him. He died in prison in 2012, aged 57.